Boom. We're live in the group. Awesome, man. Well, guys, I'm going to hit the show on his name if you don't know who this is already. But we got Ryan Stewman in the group right now. So what's up?
Dude, what's up, Rob, man? I'm excited to be here. And just full disclaimer, I'm not really this red. I don't know why the hell this computer light always makes me red when I do these at this point in my office. You'd think I would have moved around by now, but I got this fancy like anchored microphone, so I hate to move around and not utilize it. But Snapchat filter free over here. I guess I'm going to be a little bit red on the show, but I'm glad to be here. You know, we're going to deliver some comedy, some entertainment, some education, and we're going to have a damn good time today, man. I'm glad that you brought me here.
Awesome, man. I'm going to shoot out a blast to let the world know you're here. I'm not making you nervous, am I? Is that why you went red?
No, yeah, blushing. That's what it is, man. I'm blushing. Blushing from all this group love going on over here.
Hey, all right. So I'll shoot this out right now, man. But guys, while I'm doing this, right off the bat, as you guys know, when I do these videos, the only thing I ask when I bring some real high-level thinkers and action takers in the group, the only thing I ask is that you help us expand the reach so more people can get benefit from this. So like the post, comment #live if you're on Facebook. If you're watching this on YouTube, do the same thing, like the video, comment underneath, and it'll help us expand the reach organically. I'm going to shoot this out to everyone on the list right now. But man, we're going to talk about a lot of shit. Guys, if you don't know Ryan Stewman already, the guy has done a ton in the last 11 years. We are going to get in to so many different things today. And then I'll let Ryan kind of cruise with his thoughts. And you guys can ask any questions you want. I put up a post already, bro, what people wanted to ask you.
Oh, really?
Before this call. And we got a variety of questions.
Really? I've done a variety of shit. You know what I'm saying? I've done a lot of it.
This is fucking perfect. All right.
Yep.
So let me get this out there. So right off the bat, man, while I'm shooting this out, do you want to kind of just tell a little bit of your backstory for people that aren't familiar with you so they can get to know you a little bit more?
Yeah, I can give you a quick version of it because if you really want to know about me, I mean, you can go to, I don't see this to be arrogant, but you can go to Google and there's tons of other interviews and shit where I've like talked about me and stuff like that. Since we're in a Facebook group, man, I want to help you guys out. So I'll just like quickly introduce myself and then we'll get into the questions and stuff like that y'all have for me so that I can bring the most value to you guys. Like, who gives a fuck who I am? I'll talk to you a little bit about my accolades so that you can see that I'm not bullshitting when I give you the advice, but then I want to help you guys out today. So, dude, I've made a lot of mistakes and a lot of shit's happened to me in my lifetime. I was adopted at age 7 by my stepdad who, you know, in his pastime and spare time enjoyed beating the shit out of me. I ran away from home, dropped out of school, got addicted to drugs, overdosed on drugs, ended up getting locked up in prison. While in prison, had a change of life and got out and never touched drugs again and went straight to work at a car wash. My whole goal was I could sell at this car wash and I didn't have to actually wash the cars, right? And so for every car that came in, they want a $6 wash. I sell them a $10 wash. The thing was, I didn't know it at the time, but I was pretty good at that. And in reality, like on a Saturday, there might be 1,000 people come through that car wash lot. And so I had an opportunity now as my sales hat on, like, shit, dude, I had a lot of turns. You know what I mean? Like even on one day, who's taking 1,000 cold turns on one day? You know what I mean? Like that's, and all I got to do is upsell these people. So I got good at it. And somebody came in, offered me a job in the banking industry. I took the job, ended up becoming super successful, so successful that the people, I never moved out of the town that I lived in. They thought I was selling drugs again, kicked the door into my house. I had made $770,000 in 2005. And in 2006, they kicked my door in. They didn't find any drugs and I have any drugs, but I had some guns. And President Bill Clinton, who wasn't president then, he had signed something that, anyway, the law that I got arrested for isn't even a law anymore. Ain't that some shit? You know what I mean? Like if we were to do this, if we were to do it all over again today in 2019, it wouldn't even be illegal. But back then it was 15 months inside federal prison, illegal. While I'm in there, you know, before you go to prison, you get your affairs in order. They say, hey, you've been sentenced, you got 60 days to get your affairs in order. So I got married and turned over all my assets. I own like 30 houses and, you know, was making good money and shit. Turn it over to this girl that I've been living with for about 3 years. You know, we got married. I trusted her. Shit, 6 months into prison, she's gone. Banging the gardener, spending all my money, selling off houses and shit. And it was a subprime crash and the houses were in mine and some of my clients' names and shit like that. So, dude, we got beat over the head, man. I come out to prison with like $25 in my name. I had to move into a halfway house where my mom and dad could make room in their house that I, by the way, helped them buy so that I could like move back in with my mom. Despite all that shit, I get it back together, right? I get a job in the mortgage industry again. Start making $300,000 a year in 2008 and 9, like the worst years to be in business, right? Did 15 months, come out $25. It's even hard for me to say that small amount. $25, come out, start crushing it again. President Obama, God damn, government's killing me, y'all. You dig what I'm saying, right? President Obama signs a law called the Dodd-Frank Act, which, by the way, is now not a law anymore either. You know, Trump gets rid of that. So Democrats sign law, Republican gets rid of it. Like, that's the pattern that I've been having to deal with the government. But I'm like on the wrong end of that cycle. Son of a bitch, right? And so anyway, because of that, felons can't originate mortgages anymore, or at least people that have committed felonies in the last 7 years, which obviously I fell in that bracket. And boom, I'm out of the only thing that I know how to do besides wash cars. And long story short, but I have been really successful at mortgages. So I start coaching mortgage people. It's like, hey, dude, I can't be your competition. Let me show you how I did what I did. Because I did like probably at least $125 million in mortgages in like a 5-year period. Dude, I was all over it, man. And at least, and all by myself. And so anyway, the theme that I'm trying to tell you guys without taking too much time here, because I've had a fucking crazy life. I could go on forever. The theme is every time I got in trouble, every time I hit a rock bottom, every time the force of average handed me my ass, sales was the one thing that was always there for me. Right? I get out of prison. I get a job at car wash, selling, right? Then I get a job in mortgages, selling, go back to prison, get out again, selling. Dodd-Frank kicks my ass. I lose my job selling. I create my own industry, mortgage coach. There was only 3 people fucking doing it at the time besides me, right? It wasn't like it's all colluded and crowded like it is today, right? Because everybody's an info marketer today. I'm an OG in this shit. Then I built that into an 8-figure empire. Now I own a software company, a real estate company, an investment firm. I own an online education company. And these aren't just like I own some LLCs on pieces of paper. Like, these are big fucking, by American standards, they're small companies because they're not billion-dollar businesses, but they're 7- and 8-figure per year businesses, each and every one of them. And so, and I rocked the whole boat all because of fucking sales. I drove to work today in a fucking brand new McLaren. Yesterday I was in a Rolls Royce, living in a fucking mansion, all because of sales. 10 best-selling books. I could go on, but the reason why I share all that with you is like, whatever you're selling right now, if you just stick with it and sell enough of it for long enough, you'd be in the same position I'm in without having the setbacks of going to prison, you know?
Dude, so first of all, I fucking love your energy. It's contagious. Abby actually said on here, whoa, we got someone on here that has more energy than Robb. And it's like, you know, sales is just a transfer of energy, right? So I feel like you were born and bred, and like you're in the trenches. We talked about this before jumping on the live. Like, you're in the trenches, you're living it, and that's why you are the way you are right now, right? Would you agree with that?
You know, like, everybody always called me a salesman. You know, like, I would show up my stepdad and they're like, oh, he's a little salesman, isn't he? Because I was always trying to, you know, and I get it. My son's that way, so I can now see how that happened. But in my neighborhood, there were no salesmen. It was all blue collar people. You know, I didn't grow up in a nice neighborhood. This is all blue collar. So the first thing I learned to sell wasn't multi-level marketing or cars or some shit. It was drugs. You know what I mean? But I was good at communicating with people, you know, and so because that's like a weird business. You're supposed to market without people knowing. And it's like, it's a very weird business, you know, but people in my whole life have been telling me, hey, you know, you should go into sales or whatever. I just didn't have the right direction and the right kind of sales to get into.
Dude, fucking love this. And guys, I saw someone here comment about phone sites. We are going to drop an awesome ass offer for you guys at the end of this to go get into that. So stay till the end. We'll get you hooked up with that. When the video's over, that'll be pinned in the description of this, and it'll also be on YouTube in the bottom in the descriptions. So you guys will have easy access to that. Hey, Ryan, can I ask you a question, man? With that whole process, you obviously came out incredibly successful, and you probably had the right mindset, which we'll get into, and what allows you to do that. What do you think about the system and how it makes it difficult for people to actually to go work for somebody after getting out of a scenario like you were? Like, coming out of prison, they were telling you, hey, you can't do what you're great at because you have this hanging over your head now. Like, how do you feel about that? Like, what do you believe with that?
Well, dude, it's actually a lot worse. And the only thing that you can't, it's worse than you know. And the only thing that you can do is really just ignore the fact that that's what people think and say. You know, I'll tell you guys a really cool story you'll love, you know. when I got out of federal prison, first of all, I don't talk to my mom and dad. So the fact that I got to move in with them is like, it's more than degrading, right? You know what I mean? Like I tried to let me stay in prison a little bit longer so I don't have to go home. I'm not even bullshitting you because they let you out a little bit early on pre-release or whatever. I tried to let me stay to the full term so they couldn't control me going to my parents' house. That's how bad it was. And they immediately like, you got to find a job. And I'm like, cool. It's not going to be fucking easy, but I'll go find one. You know, I know I got to have money. I'm not stupid. I used to be a millionaire. I bought you guys this fucking house, you know, but whatever. And so I go and I apply at this job, dude. And I have been this banker, but I obviously like, and I didn't want to get into the whole thing. But the reason why the cops kicked my door is because I had like 32 rent houses and real estate agents. I worked from home at the time, and nobody's really working from home. So the neighbors probably thought I was selling drugs. I wasn't. I didn't think of that. And that's how it all got like pieces put together. That's the best I can tell. Anyway, so, you know, I know that I got to go get this job. So I go, and I never really had like a corporate job, you know, and there's a place called Credit Solutions. It's here in Dallas, like right up street from where I'm at right now. And it's got its name on the building, and they're hiring. A friend of mine works there. I go up there and make it through 2 interviews. And they're like, dude, you got the job. Come Monday, they call me. They're like, you didn't tell us you were a 2-time felon. I'm like, shit. I was really feeling the effects, man. You know what I mean? Like really feeling the effects. And it was devastational. And I didn't want to go back to the mortgage business because I just spent 15 months in prison watching the mortgage business implode. But then I was like, shit, I don't have a choice. And I spent 2 hours convincing the sales manager to give me a job. He told me no at least 100 times. Because I was a felon and I kept closing over me. He says, if you'll work half as hard on our clients as you worked on me, I said, I'll work twice as hard on them as I did you. Within 60 days, I broke records. That bank still hasn't ever been able to figure out how the fuck I did it in the worst economy in the history of the banking industry. Right. So like, I'm like fucking Usain Bolt with that shit over there. And so, but here's where it gets worse. Right. A few months into that job, you know, I'm over there making $30,000, $40,000 a month. And I look up at the TV in the coffee room one evening. And dude, I was kind of guy brought a sack lunch for dinner, bro. I'm gonna sit around. I knew we ran ads during Wheel of Fortune on TV. And so I would sit around in the nighttime while everybody else went home. And I wait for them Wheel of Fortune leads to come in, man. Them old ladies were always good with the credit, you know? And dude, we would fucking kill it. And so I'm watching TV in the coffee room, going to grab my sack dinner, you know, or my prefab meal or whatever the hell I have. And I look up and it's the FBI raiding this debt solutions place, this credit solutions place. And it's like headlines, credit solution raided by FTC and convicted of fraud and all this other fucking shit. And I was like, God damn, I would have definitely been the top producer there. That would have been my 3rd strike. Oh shit. There's no way they wouldn't have believed I was in on it. They probably would have all blamed it on me. It's the dude with the 2 felonies, right? Like, dude, man. So sometimes the shit works out in your favor. You know what I mean? Like for real. Dude, but here's the other side. Here's the other side though. Like I had a contractor steal $60,000 from us. You know, I wrote him a check. He didn't do the work, disappeared for one of our construction sites. You know what the cops' answer is? Well, you're a felon. It's probably more than I care to write a report about anyway. You should just take it civil. They don't want to fucking help us. Right, I have a dude right now a dude that stole $95,000 from us through some merchant account fucking fraud, and we move a lot of money, so sometimes it's hard to fucking catch things. And so we go to the police again. They're like, it's probably more than that. They don't believe that like I'm a straight up businessman. I can be. If I get pulled over, they want to know how the hell I afford. You're a 2-time felon. How do you have this car? It's like, bitch, I'm in Forbes 219 times. All you got to do is look me up and you can figure out real quick how the fuck I got this car, man. You know, but they don't trust. Like they even at 40 years old, clean as whistle. I ain't even so much had a speeding ticket in 10 years. There's still a massive amount of suspicion when I need them on my side to do their own fucking job, man. And dude, I don't blame them because most of us don't reform like I do. So they probably think I'm working some kind of damn angle or whatever, but it's tough. It is.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. And I hope you guys are gathering all this because I see some questions coming in like, what's the best sales technique you use, Ryan and Robb? And I see we had a lot of questions coming about sales and real estate, and we'll get into some of that. But I hope everyone's picking up on this story that it takes a certain type of mindset to bounce back, to understand that you are meant to do something bigger, right? Even with all these fucking like obstacles that are going to inevitably be placed in front of you. So, man, what was it for you? What was the mindset that you had? Like, getting out and starting over, like what was the first thing you thought and you had to do?
Man, what you have to do is you got to find some fuel. But fuel will only last you so long, right? Like when you run out of fuel and your tank's empty, your car stops, right? It's like fuel only lasts you so long and you have to refuel. But the first thing is you got to find some fuel. So let me give you an example of some fuel. So like when I was in prison, I married this chick, man. We never even so much got in a fight. 2 days before I go to I got set up, right? 2 days before I go to federal prison, I get suspicion that's like something's not right at home. So I'm about to send all the money and shit to my grandma to take care of, and she can dole it out to the wife, right? She sets me up, hits me, calls the police, says that I hit her. I get arrested because I'm already a felon. That's just how it works, right? I wasn't even at fucking home, dude. It's just a whole fucked up thing, man. Cute girl in distress, right? Has me like arrested. Her and her dad get a restraining order to where I can't even go over there and get my toothbrush the next day when I get out of prison, right? So then I go to prison, find out she'd been banging the landscaper and stuff while I was free, and now they're together. They've been waiting for me to go to prison, all this shit, dude. It's like really, really, really evil shit that you can't imagine doing to, like, because the family I grew up in, some evil shit's been done to me, man. And then that's like some real fucking evil shit that she did to me. You know what I mean? Like broke my fucking heart. So when I got out of prison, my fuel at first was to do one of two things. Prove to her that she didn't get the best years of my life. She tapped out too early. And B, prove to myself that she didn't get the best years of my life. And I'm going to go and do everything that I fucking ever promised anybody I was going to. And I had to have that fuel, right? Like that. So how it all got started for me is 2008. I start posting on Facebook and I'm getting these top producer awards. Kind of like I got 2 Comma Club awards and shit now, right? I start getting these top producer awards because I get them everywhere I've ever worked in my entire life. And start posting them online, hoping she'll see them like, yeah, bitch, I'm winning. Yeah, you thought you left me and I was just going to be some washed up felon. I'm winning. But I wouldn't say that. I would say something inspirational like top producer again. I'm so humbled. Thank you, God. And shit we used to say back in 2008, right? And so as a result of that, though, people started hitting me up saying, hey, man, you do a lot of fucking mortgages. Can you do mine? And I'd be like, yeah, dude. So I started doing a lot of people's mortgages off of Facebook and I started teaching it that way. So then I had this fuel, this like the very thing that I accidentally started doing because of this chick, right, is the very thing that I ended up teaching for the first 4 years that I'm in internet marketing. I made my first $1 million doing it. And I have this fuel to just like prove to the world that I'm not like my old friends from the neighborhood. I know my mom and dad, I don't talk to them. I know they watch me. You know what I'm saying? I know my family watched me and shit. So I had this like this aggression to prove to them that, you know what? Fuck, dude. I went down 2 times for both bullshit that I should have never, ever been in prison for in the first damn place. But look at me now. I'm still shining, still in Forbes, still got Lamborghini lifestyle, still over here with bank accounts. So much money. Got to have multiple bank accounts for it and everything else. All honestly, all with integrity, all with, you know, dozens of millionaire students I've created, all this other shit that just fueled me to fucking just prove to people that I was right. And you have to understand, Rob, when I started this shit, nobody believed in Facebook. I would say, hey man, you can get business from Facebook, and people go, Facebook? You mean like where we connect with our college buddies and shit like that? Like, I don't know, dude. Like my mom's on Facebook. We're not going to get business from, no, Facebook's like you put pictures of your nephew and shit on there. Like nobody understood in 2008, 9, and 10, even shit all the way up till 2014. Nobody really understood that you can make serious money from Facebook, right? But I had accidentally discovered it, and so obviously I started like down that path there, dude. But I was so angry and proving to people that you could make money from it, so I was just like all this aggression. Then I got rich, and then I'm like not mad anymore, so I had to like refuel, right? So that fuel burned out. That aggressive, mad at the world fuel burned out. When I look back and I'm like, oh shit, I'm way up here. They're way the fuck down there. Damn, the fuck happened to them? Oh shit. Damn, I'm about to run out of fuel. I better get some gas, right? And so the next thing is, okay, so now I love this. People look at me all the time. They say the money he spent on that private jet, he could have went and given it to charity, fed the homeless, right? Or feed kids, or, you know, a village or whatever the fuck, right? And then people say, oh, instead of that Lamborghini, think of how this like blah, blah, blah. So now my fuel is charities. You know what I mean? I love it when I post pictures of my car and people are like, you could have fed kids. Like, shit, here's $20,000 we gave to them last month. The fuck you doing? You know? And it's not an aggressive fuel. It's just knowing that we're giving back to the community, and the way that we do it, we're raising a little bit of awareness for charities that you wouldn't have otherwise thought of doing, right? Because if somebody just consistently says, you know, oh, look, we giving more money to charity and showing off in that way, then it's not as sexy as if you're showing Lamborghinis and you're showing the haters that you can have it all. Because I really believe that you can. I'm living it. You know, I've got I would trade places with Bill Gates. I trade bank accounts with him, but I wouldn't trade lives with him. Like, his wife's not as cool as mine. There's no fucking way, right? His kids ain't as cool as mine. There's no, he ain't had the experiences that I've had, right? There's no way that he knows some of the shit that I know, right? I guarantee you his friends are probably into weird Illuminati sex shit. My friends are cool as fuck, dude. We do all sorts of shit. We go four-wheeling, fucking hunting and shit, right? Like, I guarantee you he ain't fucking doing it like that, right? And so, like, I wouldn't trade places with the guy. And when you get in a spot like that in life, which it will happen for you in sales, I got all here from sales, but when you get in a spot like that, you start looking for other people like, shit, how can I help Robb feel this way? You know, it's kind of like when I was a drug dealer. It's like, dude, I really like weed. You know, shit, I'm going to get Robb high as fuck today, right? So now I feel the same way. It's like, I really like being able to help and serve and feel the way that I feel every day waking up, man. How can I help other people feel this way? Because when you get into alignment with what you're supposed to truly do, and then you do it, and it's, for some people, it's being a plumber and then taking all that plumbing money that they make and then giving it to inner city child so that they can go to, or inner city children so that they can go to college or whatever the hell it is. We just bought $10,000 worth of laptops for kids that were from poor neighborhoods that needed computers to get into college. You know, just like being able to do shit like that, and just know that, like, one day when I die, if I've done my job right, they'll light the whole fucking city of downtown Dallas up in commemoration of me. Right? That's all I'm trying to do, man. I'm trying to make a big enough impact to where, like, Ross Perot died today. I guarantee you tonight, downtown's white and blue from Ross Perot, from EDS, or they've come up with something to commemorate him. I want to go down like that. It's not about being a billionaire like Ross. That'll probably happen as a result of what I'm trying to do. But for me at this point, and guess what? I get to use sales to make all that come true, right? Like, we get to sell our stuff in order to help back for charities and build schools and all the shit that we're doing.
Dude, I love that, man. That's powerful. That's legacy.
You can tell I get amped about it too. I'm over here sweating and shit.
Dude, that's legacy, man. Hey, so two things. What is, like, the craziest thing that you have, let's say, use your money to do?
Man, I'm not really like a crazy guy, but one time we went hunting and out of a helicopter at a farm, you know, for pigs. That was pretty fucking cool. You know,
out of a helicopter?
Yeah, like shooting shit out of a helicopter. That was pretty fucking cool. You know, I have really cool cars. I have a Rolls Royce, a McLaren, and a Lamborghini, and I've driven all of those pretty damn fast. That's pretty crazy to me to have, like, cars like that. You know, man, I'm blessed where I have a lot of, like, famous friends too. So I won't tell, like, any stories on here, but I don't mean just, like, internet marketing famous. Like, there's a lot of people I hang out with, I don't take pictures with, because it won't serve either one of us for pictures anyway, right? And people wouldn't believe the relationships I have anyway. But I partied with a lot of stars, man. Pretty good times, dude. So really good times, man. From Nashville to LA to San Diego. So I've had some really good times, man.
Dude, that's awesome, man. What is because you came up fast. Like, I know you've been doing this for 11 years, but you also have multiple businesses. A lot of people see you as the hardcore closer. Oh, Drewby's on right now. What's up, Drewby? Drewby's on. Yeah, so dude, you do a lot of stuff, man. You're not just in sales. Sales is like your where you're rooted. But, like, you do a lot of stuff. So how'd you do it so fast?
Well, that's a really good question, man. I don't think anybody's ever asked me that, but I'm, like, actually really happy to answer it, because it's going to be an unbelievable answer. Because so for me, the first thing I started was hardcore closer. And I started that, like, I left the mortgage business on March of 2010. The Dodd-Frank thing came in, right? And so I started, like, selling some affiliate offer shit online, trying to figure out how to internet market. And back then, ClickFunnels, phone sites, lead pages, Wix, Squarespace, none of that shit existed, right? You had to buy a domain from GoDaddy. You had to upload WordPress and figure out how to FTP freaking code shit. It was difficult. So I had to learn all that shit, right? To make funnels and stuff back then. Plus, you had to learn to write and everything else. So it took me a while to go through the learning phase. Through that time in 2011, my ex-wife, who's ex-wife now, got pregnant. And I've been married a few times. And my ex, that happens. You go in and out of damn prison in all of your 20s, you know? And so, but my ex-wife was pregnant. with my oldest Jackson. And so I had to go take a step back and sell cars for about 6 months. I had a friend that was a friend of mine from prison. He told me, give me a job selling cars. So I went and sold cars. I made like 12, 13 grand a month. It wasn't the end of the world, but it wasn't, I was used to making 20, 30 grand a month in mortgages, working half the hours. Right. But the best part was they told me I could do whatever I wanted. So I made videos. I still have them all. They're on YouTube. I made videos. I ran their Facebook page. I grew their Facebook page when no other dealerships were using that shit. This is 2011, right? And so I got to try all this internet marketing shit. And so the day that my son was born and there was nothing wrong with him, didn't need insurance anymore, I quit the car dealership, started Hardcore Closer, right? Hardcore Closer, the only thing I know is selling cars and selling mortgages. And I know that I don't want to fuck with car people. That was a rough industry, right? And so they're just like, if I was a top guy making 12, 13 grand a month, that means everybody else is making 4 or 6 grand a month. They couldn't afford what I was trying to do anyway. So I picked out a niche and I went after loan officers. And I taught them how I would do like 20 to 30 loans by myself every month. And I got a lot of results for them. Okay. But people got to thinking, because Hardcore Closer was actually in the mortgage world, a mortgage closer is a loan officer, right? And so since I had this hardcore lifestyle and I'm a mortgage closer, that was the name of the company, was Hardcore Closer. And it was really about making you, Rob, the mortgage guy, a hardcore closer, right? But somehow the nickname stuck on me. And I'm not bitching about it. It's a cool nickname because like they could have called me fucking Stewman McShitpants and that stuck or something like that. So like the rule on the street is if they give you a cool nickname, go with that shit because the next one might be fucked up. And so a lot of people just thought of me as a sales guy when really I was just training mortgage people all along, not even really sales shit. But a lot of people started asking me to do sales stuff. So we released a few sales programs and things of that nature. And they did all right. But after 2014, I worked with a lot of the real estate agents on TV. And I started getting a lot of real estate clients. So people thought I was like the real estate dude. But I had been in real estate and mortgages for 15 years at that point. And probably 2016 was really when the turning point happened. I started making multiple 7 figures in the Break Free Academy business, which is our online education company. And I started using that money to buy up other businesses and buy up other investments because I knew, because here's what you guys, a lot of people don't know about me is when I was a mortgage guy, in order for me to do 120 or 30 or 40 or $50 million worth of mortgages, I probably saw 2,500 like credit applications, like tax returns, bank statements, like do W-2s, like freaking application, like you name it. I looked at it through 2,500 of them over the years. Same in the car world. Do the finance. Do we look at their credit application, their paycheck subs? Like I know all those calculations like the back of my mind, just like an accountant or a bookkeeper or anything else. And so as soon as I got my hands on money, I knew exactly what to do with it because I'd seen what 2,500 people did or didn't do with it. So for years, I would put $500 a week into my E-Trade account. Next thing you know, I'm able to put $10,000 a week into my E-Trade account. I got a 7-figure stock portfolio that's doing 23% year over year off of blue chip stocks for like the last 10 years, right? Then I've got a trust and we buy shit through the trust, right? Like properties and like different multifamily opportunities and just different investments. Dude, I buy cryptocurrency and flip that shit, dude. Everything, right? And now I'm at a point where I just hire other people to do it for me and they get a percentage. We have people that watch the different portfolios and stuff like that. But it's all the point of I didn't get these Lamborghinis and shit until like a year ago, and the Lamborghini, I'm actually going to give it away in a competition in December. So I'm just driving it for a few months to enjoy it before I got to give it away. But, I took, and I watched Cardone say this the other day too. It's like, dude, I took all that money. I've been making 6 figures or more a year since 2003, right? And I've got it, lost it, got it again, lost it. Like I know how to fuck with money. And I've been putting money back for a long freaking time, man. And what you saw was just like that tipping point happened about 3 years ago where you're like, you blew up fast. Then what you're seeing is like all that 19 years worth of freaking work happened in a matter of the last 3 years. It was that tipping point. Like the moment that Warren Buffett did the deal that made him a millionaire, there was no looking back from that, right? He didn't go out and buy gold chains and freaking shit like that. I did the same thing. I bought enough stuff to where that stuff paid for the cool shit that I wanted, the watches and all that.
Yeah. You know what's cool, man, is actually now that I think about it, when I first got into this internet business and I left working for a corporate company, your app, it was actually a Hardcore Closer app.
Yep, we still have it.
Do you still have that? Yeah, I bought that in 2017.
Yep.
Was when I first got introduced to you, and I can't remember where I found it, but I was like, yo, this guy is pretty cool.
Dude, we have 11,000 users on that thing.
That's freaking nuts, man.
Yep.
That's awesome, dude. So, okay. So with all these different things you have going on, because there's a lot of different things, what do you feel like was the most effective tool that allowed you to comprehend it all and to like actually take action to start reinvesting your money into these other pools? Because a lot of people hear this multiple streams of income, right? Quote unquote, but nobody really understands what that means or when to do it.
Right. Well, most people like take a screenshot of their Stripe account and shit like that. And just notice that this is like an envelope from the last quarter. You know what I'm saying? These are checks. This is what real money looks like. You see what I'm saying? These come in the mail all the time. Rent checks, affiliate checks. What's this one right here? I can name some out. So this is an affiliate check for $463. It's not a lot of money until you get 20 of them a month. You know what I mean? And it starts to add up. Here's an affiliate check for $20,000, right? I sent some people to a seminar. I got paid to promote it. Here's a check. This is the oldest running affiliate game that I have had. AWeber. They've been paying me money since 2010 every month, right? This one right here, $354. It's a cheap product. But, dude, I bet they have paid off one of my cars with the amount of money that they've sent me over the years. So here's what happens. I run a few different companies. I have Break Free Academy, phone sites, and those are my main two. And then I have some investment stuff. I don't have to take a $50,000 or $100,000 a month salary from Break Free Academy. I can take $5,000 from Break Free Academy, $5,000 from phone sites, $5,000 from Hardcore Closer, $5,000 a month from Wolfman Assets. And now all of a sudden my companies are still operating profitable and they have money to put back in them, but I'm diversified. So I've got a few different. So let's say that like one of my business takes a hit. Okay, cool. I'm not reliant on it only for the money, right? I've got a little bit of money coming in from these other places. So I've only got to figure out how to replace one source instead of my only source of income. And so coming up in this game, I didn't have like the money to hire all these professionals and consultants, and shit wasn't the way it is today. They weren't everywhere the way that they are today. So I in order for me to teach people to do stuff, I had to do it first because I'm not some fake ass bitch like you see a lot of people online, right? And so I want to teach people to write a book. So I wrote a book, right? I want to teach people how to make $1 million from a Facebook group. So I made trackable, verifiable in like 3 months, $1 million from a Facebook group, right? I want to teach people how to become funnel closers and they could sell funnels online. I want to teach people how to build funnels and run ads and make $1 million from ads. All these things that I did, I had to do first before I could teach people because nobody was willing to let me be a case study, and nobody that was willing to let me be a case study was worth a damn. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to spend all my time making Joe Blow fucking famous and everybody goes and trust him when he didn't know what the hell he was doing in the first place and misguides them, you know?
Yeah. Oh, Chad just jumped on too. He said, "What's up?" and told everyone to drop a 322 in the chat. If you're getting fired, this is fire value. So
him and his numbers, he cracks me up.
So, dude, that's awesome, man. So what would you say? Because here's the thing, you've done so many things and you've been successful in everything you've been doing. So what is one thing you believe that you think other industry experts, if you will, right, would disagree with?
Well, first, let me clean that up. I have not been successful in everything that I've done. I think I just outlined in the beginning of this meeting about 20 things that I have been very unsuccessful at. I've been the top producer at every sales job that I've ever had, but I've had definitely some unsuccessful sales ventures. I'll never forget the first time I created my own very first company. It was Lifestyle Connections. And people used to make fun of me because they're like, sounds like condoms, like lifestyle condoms. And then when I became hardcore, people are like, dude, you like, what's your deal with like sex shit? Lifestyle Connections, Hardcore Closer. Like, what's the problem here, right? Like, I didn't put the two together. I'm just like, maybe you guys think of sex all the time and I don't. Maybe it's y'all with the issue. But anyway, so I have these two partners. One of them's been like my boys since 7th grade. And the other one's this guy that's a friend of his dad. And the friend of his dad's kind of like the credit money man. And then me and Grant are the sales dudes, me and my friend, right? My no longer friend. And so we go out, man, and we raise a whole bunch of money, dude. And we go buy a bunch of houses and shit like that. And then, oh, dude just kind of like takes off with the money. And all the people come, they didn't, it's the fucking strangest thing. Everybody came after me and the young dude, and they didn't go after the old dude that disappeared with their money, man. So it was like fucking, it was crazy. We had to shut the business down. It was horrible. And I ended up taking responsibility in fixing all the shit that went wrong, but it wasn't an overnight fix, and some of the damage was already done. Right. So I've had some shit not go too well over the years, but you learn from those experiences. Right. But the one thing that I would say that a lot of other like online coaches and stuff like that, like, I don't know, I think a lot of them are the same. I'm not trying to lump myself into a category with being them the same. And I don't have anything shockingly different. I think, man, the best coach that you can get, the best advice you can get is from somebody that's done it. And so I only teach about things that I've done. And if I haven't done it, I go find somebody else who's an expert who has done it, and I have them come in and teach. That's what I found to be. A lot of people pretend like they listen, y'all. I'm just gonna be real with y'all. Don't believe all this bullshit that you see. And I know everybody says that, but I know a lot of really famous internet famous people who don't live a life like it looks like on Instagram and shit like that, right? Who really don't own them cars and things of that nature. So, don't like. The best advice I can give you when it comes to like the internet marketing crowd and you sales guys looking at Cardone and all these other people, so man, don't compare. He's not who I'm talking about, but I'm saying don't compare yourself to him. He's 60 fucking years old, right? Most of you watch this are probably in your 20s and 30s. That guy's fucking 2x your age, right? Maybe 3x your age. So like, he's somewhere else. When you're that age, then you can compare where he is now to where you are at that age, right? But right now you're not in his league because he's got a way, like I'm 40, he's got a 20-year head start on him. He was going door to door selling VHSs. So you can't look at him and go, oh, he paid cash for a jet, I got to get my shit together. Like, he's fucking decades older than you, man. He's been at it for a while. The second thing is, here's what's the best part about any business. If you'll just do it good for long enough, most people will quit along the way. Most salespeople will tap out along the way. Most managers will tap out along the way. Most businesses will tap out along the way. So if you just do it good, you don't even have to be fucking great. If you'll just do it good and stay consistent, eventually you'll be the market leader. How I got to where I am in the market now, and I'm not an influencer. I'm just a business dude that journals my life online, right? And how I got to where I'm at right now is just consistent every fucking single day. For a long time, when I got started, nobody listened. I've still got podcasts that got one fucking listen, me, to make sure the damn thing still works. You know what I mean? Like, and we want this, like, oh, Tony Robbins, as soon as he makes a post, he has 1 million followers, or Jordan Belfort, as soon as he makes a post, there's, or Ed Milet. We start comparing ourselves to these people. And the truth is, like, we're not where they are, right? They're all a lot older than us. And so our job, man, is to focus on these daily tasks that are going to get us where we want in life. Stop worrying about making millions of dollars, and just know that if you want to make $1 million this year, then all you need to do is worry about making $3,000 today. That's it. Fuck $1 million over a year. Start worrying about $3,000 today. If you get paid $500 per sale, that means that within the next 12 hours, you need to make 6 fucking sales. Right? Start doing the math and worrying about that stuff. I think that's something that a lot of people would tell you online, go get Lamborghinis and look fancy and shit like that. But if you do the math and the work first, that other stuff will come along.
Yo, I love that you brought that up. First of all, I hope you guys heard that. Like, it's not about being the absolute best at what you do. Just be good at something and do it
for long enough. Long enough. Yeah.
And bro, I love how you brought up the fact that, because I was just talking about this with someone else today. It's not about being the millionaire or the decamillionaire, etc. Like, as we started focusing on product quality and our internal systems, all of a sudden now, whoa, we have more revenue than we've ever had. And whoa, more people are gravitating into our circle and being a part of the vision. And it's like, holy shit, right? It's almost like you're working less, but you're just working smarter.
Yep.
Dude, well, I love that, man.
Well, and you're just staying in it. So many people like let's just take multi-level marketing, for example. We see the people all the time. They post like, oh my God, have you heard about Amway? We're all going to have private jets next month. Right. And you laugh, right? Because you've seen it so many fucking times. It's comical. Yeah. Right. But think about it. Somebody that just stayed in Amazon or Amway for like 10 fucking years has that jet. Mm-hmm. That, you know what? While everybody else dropped off, they just picked up a little bit of market share day after day, month after month, year after year. A decade later, they got enough residual income to buy a global fucking express if they want, but we don't see that person because they ain't bragging about it. They're enjoying it, You know what I mean? And so that's all it is. And it even happens in something as simple as multi-level marketing. The problem is everybody sees the results and wants them immediately. And that's nothing new. We all know that everybody wants instant results. Shit, the minute that somebody can figure out how to sell instant results and actually get, a lot of people sell instant results, but when somebody can figure out how to sell it and get it, that person will become the first trillionaire, right? Like instant weight loss, instant results, instant millions. Like when somebody figures out how to make that shit happen and can actually deliver it, that's the deal. But in the meanwhile, it takes time. That's all it is on this planet. It's time and math, right? You want to make 10 million. Okay, so you have to decide. Really, so many people are vague, and this is where you really start to win. I made my first million in a year when I got committed to $3,000 a day. That was it. Just got committed to $3,000 a day, and I hit it every single day except for days that I didn't. I hit 6 or 9 the next day. You know what I mean? Like and once I committed, I looked up the end of the year. I didn't count my chips at the poker table. At the end of the year, I looked up $1.8 million. Boom! In 1 year, I went from 500 to 1.8, and all I did was just focus on $3,000 a day. And so here's what I would tell you guys, right? You go and you figure out what that number is, right? You want to make $10 million. What are you going to do with it, right? To many of you, throw that number out there. It's so big, you don't even know. It's just some number you heard and you think it's cool to say, right? So like what you really need to do is really need to figure out what your perfect day is, right? Like where would you live? How much would that house cost? What would the electricity bill? How much would the yard bill? You're going to mow your own yard? How much is the lawnmower going to cost? What kind of cars would you have? What kind of food would you eat? Would you have a chef? Would you have a housekeeper? Would you have an office? Figure out what like your perfect life, what that real budget is. And that's the fucking number that you got to work on hitting every day.
Dude, I saw you make a post about this the other day too, where you're reverse engineering all the numbers to actually get to a certain level of success.
Dude, man, so many people don't do that. It's right there in front of you like this microphone, man, and people they don't get it.
Yeah, dude, I love that. Do you so guys, if you have any questions, ask them now because we have roughly 15 minutes. Dude, this has moved fast. We got a lot.
45 minutes already. I've been yelling for 45 minutes. I'm gonna be hoarse on the next one.
That's funny, man. Everyone's loving it. We had like 60 people on here, so message is clear, guys. If you have any questions, now is the time to ask it. We actually have a handful of questions if you want to start answering a few.
Yeah, bring them on, man.
All right, cool, man. So we have first one. So we have, if you were to start over from zero and you wanted to start an actual agency where you did consulting, what would be the first step you would take?
So the easiest thing to do is, in my opinion, to start from zero, I get this question a lot, is to become what I call a funnel closer. And you can go over to funnelcloser.com and you can look up and watch all the stuff there. It's one of my programs. Reason why I made it's because I've done all this shit and I know which one's the easiest to get money quickly in. You know what I mean? Like all the hustles you hear about that Ty Lopez sells and shit, I've actually done them all. Dude, you can go and see like Gary V's on this flipping My Little Pony shit. Dude, I was writing posts in 2012 about garage sale hopping and shit like that, putting it on eBay. Dude, none of that shit's new, right? Like I'm so OG. I've been busy doing this shit. It hasn't been to the last couple of years. I've been bragging about doing the shit. You know what I mean? Because it's you're supposed to do these days. But like I've been doing this stuff for a long time. So I've done a lot of shit. It's the reason why I say this. But to get become a funnel closer and set up an account with phone sites and scale an agency according to that with all the documents and everything else. Because here's what's up, man. Right now, we live in a very unique time. See, when our forefathers or ancestors or whatever, however we got here, right? Some of them, they came across on pirate ships. Some of them, Native Americans, were already here. Some of them came across on slave ships. Some of them came across on like explorers, like however the hell that you got here. In the beginning, we all started grabbing land. Right? We just go and we would put a fence around or we would draw boundaries around land. Then later on, a couple of like maybe a century later, we find out that shit, there's oil here in this land. Right? And Rockefeller figures out that now him and Ford power up and they need oil to operate these machines. So all these people that own land, they start putting oil derricks on their land. They start pumping oil out of their land. The oil boom happens, man. And we spawn Rockefeller, who goes on to make like $30 fucking trillion. Like that's like, I believe the real number that guy made, like $30 fucking trillion and all like leaves these huge legacies. There's this family, still the richest family in America. They all just have different last names for marriages and shit like that. Right? Like it's unreal what happens, right? They build railroads. They make it all the way to the West Coast. Finally, they find a bunch of gold on the West Coast. They start selling gold and everything else. That was a time when if you had land and you were sitting on it, that land made you money. You could build a house on the land. You could put 2 oil derricks up. It would pay for your house, pay for your cows, pay for your farm. That land paid for itself. Oil has been the most valuable resource on the planet since then. Okay, I believe it was like 1911 when it became the most valuable resource and just fucking stayed there until last year. Now, data is the most valuable resource on the planet. Name, email address, phone number, location, address, all the shit that we collect, leads, aka leads. Mm-hmm. That's the most valuable resource. With oil, what happens? You drain oil out of the ground, you turn it into gasoline or oil, you burn it once, it's fucking useless, right? It's not a renewable resource, right? However, data is. You might watch this video today and not buy nothing. I can send it out a week later and you might buy some shit. 2 weeks later, you might buy some different shit, right? Like if you know how to monetize data. Well, here's the thing. Most business owners right now, the equivalent of a business owner not having a sales funnel is the same thing as a landowner not having oil derricks on there just a fucking century ago. What? You got land and you're not pumping oil out of it? Dude, we're all over here getting fucking rich. What are you doing? Right? And most business owners right now have land with oil on it. They don't realize that they need a pump. And so funnel closer is like the most in-demand thing that you can sell to a business right now, because you can go out and sell them a funnel for $1,000 to $2,500. You keep $1,500, $2,000 of it, outsource it to one of our people, Chad's people, actually, that you were talking about. Chad's people at Dash Clicks, they make a funnel for you. You keep $2,000. Dude, you sell one of those a fucking week, you got $125,000 a year coming in.
It's that simple, though. It really is, guys. Like, he made it sound simple because it really is that simple. I
made millions of dollars doing this shit in my spare fucking time. I'm dead serious, in my spare time. Especially these days, you go get in Facebook groups, Reddit groups, you go YouTube comments. There's prospects fucking everywhere that need funnels, man.
Yeah. So what about becoming the most elite version of yourself? How would you say you can become the most elite version of yourself?
Well, that's a good question. So at my live seminars, we have people go through what we call the elite exercise, where you figure out who that is. And oftentimes, as weird as this sounds, people cry. I've seen the toughest dudes look up, try to act like they weren't crying because they think I might embarrass them. I wouldn't do that to them. But it's funny. I've seen some very macho dudes get up after we're done with it, because it shows you what's possible. But there's something that we live by called the G code. It's the code to greatness. And there's basically 4 areas that you have to focus on every day, not as a whole. And everybody will say things like they want to be rich, they want to be famous and wealthy and everything, but they don't have definitions of them. So what we've done is we've broken down to what winning looks like in 4 areas of your life that matter the most. And one of those is your mindset. You have to have a grateful mindset. If you're not grateful for what you have, you won't appreciate what's next either. We hear people all the time say, oh, money doesn't buy you happiness. It's true. There is no price on happiness. The problem is they're not grateful for what they have, so they're not happy with what's coming. And if you're not happy right now making $100,000 a year, you're not going to be happy in $1 million a year, right? That's your mind. That's just another number in your bank account. Your mindset's not going to change, right? And guess what? When you make $100,000 a year, somebody might rip you off for $40, right? You make $1 million a year, somebody might rip you off for $40,000. How the fuck you going to deal with that? When you make $1 million a year, you might have to write a $450,000 check to the IRS. How the fuck are you going to handle that? Right? There's some gratitude mindset stuff that has to take place. And we have a system in place that teaches all of it. The next thing is you got to work on your genetics. I'm 40 years old. I like to say that I'm pretty good shape. You can see a pretty good fucking roadmap there on that arm. You know what I mean? And it's because I put in the work. This morning, I ran a 1/4 mile. I did 10 push-ups, 10 burpees, 10 squats, ran a 1/2 mile, did 20, 20, 20, ran 3/4 of a mile, did 30, 30, 30, and then ran a mile as fast as I could, right? It took me 48 minutes to do all that. That's fucking getting it every single day, right? Every day I have a personal trainer that pushes me through the ringer, because if I'm going to be elite financially, I better be elite physically as well, right? The force of average will have you make a whole bunch of money and then give it all to the damn hospital in the end because you didn't take care of your health. And your genetics isn't just like working out, dude. It's about what you eat, the supplements that you take. Like, dude, I do anything that I can to get an edge on having more energy. I get an edge on being a little bit stronger, get an edge on having a little bit better diet, living a little bit longer. Like, dude, we live in this time where all these things are available and people act like, like people say things like, hey, dude, fuck, they're doping on steroids over there. Dude, that only applies to professional athletes. There's like low T centers around here everywhere with dudes around the fucking corner because this shit's the fountain of youth. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people don't understand. Don't knock those people. Go fucking see that doctor and get his shit, right? If you can get HGH or whatever the fuck they'll give you these days, the shit's not taboo like it was in the 70s. You can go somewhere and they'll help you take care of your genetics. You can go get blood tests and they'll tell you what food to fucking eat and what not to eat and what's going to optimize the way that you sleep and shit like that. Like, you have no excuse. You can buy an Apple Watch and it will tell you how you need to do during the day to optimize your fucking body, right? Like, we have no excuse. The third thing is your grind, your GRIND, your work, right? That's where you got to put in the work every single day. And focus comes into that. A lot of us salespeople and entrepreneurs, we don't have a boss, right? So we don't have somebody looking over our shoulder going, hey man, you know, are you on time? Did you get that task done? We don't have that. And so I focus at work by using a calendar. If it ain't on the calendar, it doesn't happen. I reached out to you right before our scheduled time because it was on a calendar. When you hit me up, I gave you a calendar to get on. That's how I live my whole life. That calendar is my boss. That's how I hold myself accountable. And the last G of the G code is the group of people you're around. And I think that's the most important. Because if you got the right group of people, you'll end up winning and having a grateful mindset. You'll end up winning and being right genetically because the right group of people ain't going to let you be a fat piece of shit. You know what I mean? I'm not saying if you're overweight, you're a piece of shit, but I'm just saying that's awfully selfish, especially if you have kids. Don't you owe it to them to be able to move a little bit? Don't you owe it to yourself to be able to feel a little bit better? Do you think that when God intended to create you, he intended you to be the way that you are that way? I'm not knocking it. We all have fucking issues. I was told I was never going to work out again. Got a metal bar in my hand. They told me I'd never pick up more than 10 pounds. I can still deadlift 430 fucking pounds, right? Like, whatever medical condition the doctor told you, it was probably just to fucking protect their insurance. If they told you, you shouldn't work out, you shouldn't walk, you need plenty of rest, that's probably to fucking protect their insurance policy or some shit. It's probably not in your best interest, right? We were born to work out and walk and eat properly. Just saying, kind of go off there. But the right group of people around you will hold you accountable. If you work like the people, if you're in the water cooler at work, and the group of people at the water cooler are bitching about the leads, guess what? Those people can fuck your day up. If you're at the water cooler at work with the right people and they're talking about how they made a fat ass paycheck last Friday, they'll fucking amp you up to where you'll want to go get some more too, right? So being around the group, that includes your referral partners, your clients, your employees, your family, your friends. Most of you are shitty friends. And you wonder why you don't have any friends, but every time your friends ask you to go out with them, you turn them down. Right. And then when you want them to go out with you, you expect them to drop shit and they don't. And you think that your fucking friends are assholes. Right. When's the last time you just called up your friends? You said, fucking dinner's on me. I don't want nothing from you. I'm not going to pitch or sell you anything. I just want to fucking hear you talk for an hour. When's the last time you did that? If you haven't done that to somebody that you call a friend in the last 12 months, you ain't a friend.
Hey, amen, dude. That's it right there. Yeah. Not enough people are focused on any of that, actually. Like any of it.
Because the force of average, there's an algorithm on this planet called the force of average. And it's like high school, right? Let's say in high school, Rob, I don't know how big you are. Let's just say that you're like 5'6". You're a small guy, right? And in high school, you go to this high school and it's full of these fucking giant Samoans, man. It's like this school we got over here in Fort Worth, right? Bunch of Dwayne Johnson motherfuckers. And you're this small dude, right? But all these Samoans, man, they're real dumb, man, because they're out there hitting their heads and fucking playing football every single day. So like they're all about to flunk out, right? But if they flunk out, the school doesn't go to the national championship, right? But you're trying to get an engineering degree and go on to become a PhD in engineering. So you're trying to get 100 on every single test, the big test coming up. And if you get 100, you fuck up the grading curve. Those guys are going to end up getting a bad grade. They're not going to be able to play. The team don't go to the Super Bowl. And guess what you get? You get your ass beat by some angry fucking Samoans outside of the fucking school as soon as they figure out you're the one that got 100. Am I telling a lie?
No, amen. There you go.
That's how life works for everybody, right? When you become the millionaire, you fucked it up for the jocks. You know what I mean? And guess what? Most like, let me give a good example. Like football player goes on and makes some millions of dollars, right? Like what do? They typically lose it, right? I saw it's like 80% of all athletes end up filing bankruptcy 5 years after they're released from from being professional athlete, right? Like 5 fucking years, right? The force of average gets them. You heard me tell the story about, made 700 grand, went to fucking prison, right? Married this chick, never had a fight, kicked out of my house, can't get any money, right? Like got back on top, 300 grand a year, fucking Dodd-Frank Act. Like you've heard this story, but what you didn't really catch was that the last part of that story, there's no setbacks. And that's because I started focusing on this, because you got to be willing to take that ass whipping from those jocks if you want to get that PhD in life. You know what I mean? Go on and take your fucking ass whooping. Don't let them fucking keep you from going and passing that fucking test and getting 100 so you can live your best life. And that little ass whipping that they give you today, it ain't gonna permanently damage shit. They can replace anything from face bones to teeth to fucking nose. Take that fucking beating. And so here's the problem most people don't understand. When life beats them, when life throws a fucking problem, they become this victim, right? But life's supposed to throw you problems because when you be doing super extraordinary shit, right, then they've got to try to bring you back to average. It's the gravitational pull, the force back to average. Could be your friends, could be your family, could be anybody, could be anything. It could be a lawsuit, could be fucking some shit just fucking magically out of the blue happen. It's all force of average shit. The only way to beat that algorithm, right, because the force of average has one job and one job only, right, and that's to figure out how to distract you. That's all those are, is distractions. Because when human beings become focused, we get in the zone. We redraw maps. We go to other fucking planets, right? We take over countries. We build fucking empires. Amazon comes, Apple comes, like all these fucking things get invented when we're in the zone. So the people like Steve Jobs and Elon Musk, they fuck the grading curve up for people on this fucking planet, and the force of average tries to hold them back. But it's your job to focus on this G code, because that's like having the fucking cheat code to Contra. Remember, you used to log in left, up, down, all that shit. That's what this is. This is just a little JavaScript called the G code that you paste in your fucking website of life, and you focus on that shit every day. That's the script that you run, focusing on those every single day, because if you're focused, you're not distracted, and if you're not distracted, the force of average can't fuck with you.
Dude, I love that, man. That's fucking powerful. Force of average. And I've seen you mention that a lot on your page.
Yeah, there's a whole video on it at forceofaverage.com.
You guys have to go check that out. And if you want, because I know we have like a couple minutes, I'm not even like watching the clock. Every time I look up, I see how close we are to 2. I want to make sure everyone can go find you, man. If they haven't already visited your pages, know where you're at, make sure they're following you to make sure they get more of this awesome shit, because I know I'll be subscribing to more pages I didn't hear of before after this. So where can they find you, man? Where should they go?
Yeah, the best place is hardcorecloser.com. You can check out my podcast. So I have 2 podcasts, the Hardcore Closer podcast, which is all sales. And then I have another podcast called Rewire, which is it's 5 minutes, 6 minutes max. It's every day. Wake up, put me in your ear. Let me talk to you every single morning. Let me get your mind right. That's what I do, right? Let me just like wake up, put your AirPods, turn it on your Bluetooth stereo. Just let me talk to you for the first 5 minutes a day. Start at episode 1. And dude, by the time you get to episode 400, where we're at right now, you'll be a different fucking person, man. 5 minutes of your day. That's it. That's all I need. First thing in the morning, 7 days a week. In 30 days, you won't believe the progress you've made. In 60 days, you won't be the same person. By the time you make it through all of them, dude, you won't believe your life.
Dude, I'll tell you what, guys. I'll just get these links and I'll put them all up in the description. Make it super easy for you guys.
It's all at hardcorecloser.com. It's all there. Yeah, it's all in one spot, dude. I made it easy for you.
Boom. All right. Perfect, guys. It looks like someone just linked it in there, but I'll put it in the description too. So this way it's easy to find from the beginning of this. Ryan, I appreciate you, man. I asked this shit's been awesome. Like, I learned a lot about you I didn't already know, because I read up a little bit about you beforehand. So this is awesome. I ask everybody one last question before they jump off. So you ready?
Yep.
If you had one superpower, which I feel like you're already living with on a couple, but if you had one superpower, what would it be and why?
Dude, we all have one superpower. It's called focus. I just told you, man, we go to the moon, we go to Mars, we create Amazon. Dude, when we get focused, we become unstoppable. Here's the thing. I grew up on a horse farm. And a horse farm, when you have like a baby horse, they're called a colt. You tie it up to the fence or the post or inside a stall, and it jerks, man, like fucking crazy for hours. And then one minute it just stops. I don't know. You never know how long it's going to be. Some of them 10 minutes, some of them fucking 2 hours. And when it jerks, no matter after that, you don't have to tie it to the pole anymore when it stops jerking. The horse then grows up from this 90-pound like colt all the way into this huge freaking horse that weighs 2,000-3,000 pounds, however much fucking horse weighs, a lot. They're big. And you don't even have to tie it up. You just throw the rein over the pole and it thinks it's tied up and it doesn't try to move away from it. And that's the way it has been for us ever since. Most of you right now, you're going to resonate with this. Ever since you were in first grade, kindergarten, second grade, third grade, all those times between the ages of 3 to 7, just like that baby horse, which is when we're formed, the ages of 3 to 7, we got 4-year window to learn everything we need to learn on this life. Most of you are told you had ADD, couldn't focus. You need to pay attention. You need to focus, boy. You need to learn how to pay attention. Pay better attention. Listen to your parents, right? Like all this shit that's stored in our subconscious, because the force of average knows that focus is your superpower. So its job is to keep you distracted, because if you're distracted, you're not focused. But if you'll start today focusing, right, on those 4 areas every single day, it's just like a muscle, right? You're going to be sore. You start tomorrow, you're going to be sore the next day. but you got to get back in the gym anyway. And you're going to be sore the next day. A week later, you're not sore no more. 30 days later, it's a habit. 60 days later, it's a lifestyle. I'm telling you, that's what you have to fucking do. We all have a superpower. Most of you just let that superpower fade away. Imagine having a superpower to unlock every fucking thing that you've ever wanted in this video game of life. Cars, money, hookers, blow, whatever the fuck you're into, right? It's all right in front of you. The difference is how you flex that muscle inside your brain, that focus muscle. When you focus on those 4 things every day, it starts to strengthen up, and you realize you have the power to bend the wheel of the universe to do whatever the fuck you want it to do, just like I am.
Yeah, that's one of the best whys to an answer I probably ever had on one of these interviews. So,
sweet.
Well, kick ass.
I know my shit. Like I'm convicted, right? Like you can't convince me I'm wrong. I know I'm living it. You know what I mean? So like when you ask that answer, like I already know what the fucking superpower is. We all got it.
Dude, I love that. I hope everybody gets to watch this replay again. Go watch the replay again because there's a lot of stuff spit on this interview. So this is awesome. Ryan, bro, I appreciate you jumping on again, man. This has been awesome. So,
yeah, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it. And for those of you, we didn't really get to say nothing. For those of you looking for leads, go over to phonesites.com/closer, and you can get a free 14-day trial to my software, Phone Sites. We've helped sales professionals and business owners generate over 140,000 leads in the last 15 months. You might as well get in on some of them. So you can get 2 weeks for free. You can try it, get leads, and already see how badass it is without even fucking having to do. And the best part is, as soon as you sign up, within 24 hours, my team calls you. They walk you through the entire process and help you build your first sales funnel so you can get leads. Dude, we're all about helping people win.
And guys, we're going to link that in the top so it's easily accessible. Just click it after this live's over. I'm going to link it. You guys can go straight to it. So, you know what? Let me just link it in the comments right now so people can do it while we're on the live. So about 50 people or so. What was that again? You said a Phone Sites /
phonesites.com / or / whatever the fuck it is, closer.
Yeah. Closer. Boom. All right, guys, that's in there right now. I'll link it at the top, though, after this.
Cool. Hey, thanks for having me on, Rob. I'm on to the next one, man.
All right, later, brother.
Later.